Welcome to Amazing Mind, the Hypnosis TV talk show that introduces you to all sorts of amazing people and ideas related to subconscious behavior. My name is Lisa Machenberg, hypnotherapist, HMI instructor, and host. Today I have an amazing guest. Today I have Mark Harradine. Now Mark is a business consultant and a mental sports coach. I have been trying to get Mark on my show for 1 year, ever since he taught me something about sports psychology, and I was able to discover through his program my power word. When I'm playing on the tennis court, my power word is fearless. So it is my pleasure to have my personal mental sports coach and business consultant on the show, Mark Harradine.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. You came up with a very interesting and very unique way, very accessible, to create success in business. But I wanted to ask you, when people are working for big corporations, what's that like?
Good question, thank you. So this is an independent survey that I call it, which is my opinion after working with some people. About 80% of the corporate people that I'm working with are not happy. So I look at how can you navigate with purpose in what you're doing to achieve what these outcomes and agendas are. So having said that, 80% not happy, 10% okay, 5% maybe want to, and the rest is kind of elusive. So it's an interesting place to navigate through.
So if you're in the corporations and you want to, or you're just kind of gliding or sleepwalking through, we should all start our own business, right?
Right, so let's become entrepreneurs. Well, where's the challenge in becoming an entrepreneur? How am I going to pay my bills? What are the resources available? You may have more passion, more purpose without the top-heavy kind of leadership above you, but there's a lot more weight on your shoulders.
How do we navigate with purpose?
Oh, great question. How do we? So I created a model, you know, because models is really a framework of thinking, and the framework is around a compass. So if we think about the north, it's the where to. So it's the vision, it's long-term and short-term. If you think about the east, it's the why. Why do we do what we do? So in this arena, I create a moral compass. In the south, we look at the challenges. What are the challenges that we need to do to overcome so we proactively start to hedge away at that before they show up and blow up? And in the west, the tactical, practical plan. Annual goals, projects, next actions. So this is a simple model of how to start to navigate with your moral compass intact.
I like the theoretical, but let's break it down and be practical. And for that, everybody take out a piece of paper.
Sure.
Let's do it together.
So one of my taglines is to commercialize your gift, or gifts, I should say. So I start with, what are your gifts? So if you take away the adult thinking and the mind, go into the 5-year-old. And what did you do naturally at 5 years of age, Lisa?
Well, I was naturally theatrical. As a matter of fact, my mother called me Sandra Bernhardt. That's true.
And what's the gift of being theatrical?
Well, I was funny, and I was quick, and I was not afraid of people giving me attention.
So what we want to achieve here is getting it to one word. So what would be one word that you would name this gift?
Connection.
Nice, nice. And I bet you, and look at what you're doing here today, you're connecting with people. So that theme is still very current. So I call it God's bankroll. How do you bankroll these gifts into your roles and responsibilities into your life? So now looking at values and guiding principles, mission, purpose statements, that creates the moral compass within this framework. Let's talk about vision for a moment in the north, and let's look at the next 2 to 3 years. What would be something you'd like to achieve?
Hypnosis TV, my shows, triple the viewership or more. That would be the bare minimum.
Great. So in this space, we look at what I call strategic intentions. And intention is like a goal. If I wanted to get out this door, that's my intention. But I don't necessarily know the method. We may talk here for a while. I may meet the audience. I may talk to a broader audience. And eventually I get out the door so I know it's accurate, my intention was clear. But with a goal, I put a metric to it. I want to get out the door in 5 steps. I want to get out the door in a certain amount of time. So this is a distinction. Let's move that, and what's the challenge in the South here around that intention?
Having people know all about it.
So what's the limiting belief that would go with that?
I'll only tell you if you don't tell anybody.
Well, of course, it's just us.
Okay. I'm 55. Who's going to want to watch a little old lady on television?
Right. So our limiting beliefs is that core belief that is blocking us before we even begin.
Yes, I feel like there's young, beautiful women nipping at my heels.
So how do we flip that into what I call expanding beliefs? What would be an expanding belief?
Well, again, last night when I came home from work, I watched Judge Judy. Now, Judge Judy didn't start her television career until she was 60, but more people tune in to see her than young, beautiful, frivolous women, even though they're awfully purty.
Truly. So how do you change that limiting belief into an expanding belief? How would you frame that in a sentence?
Everybody wants to watch me because I have experience, wisdom, and perspective.
Right. And it's been talked about already today in these series around the law of attraction. To me, the law of attraction may or may not be true, but go test it and find out. So with this expanding belief, take it and go check it out and work it. Its workability will start to show up. So once we get this now expanding beliefs, we then go into the West, which is around practical goal. So looking at how do we create now that strategic intention of 2 to 3 years into an annual goal. And this is where you want a metric with it. So what would, if we broke it down now into a smaller time frame, what would be the annual goal for you?
I want to double the viewership in 1 year.
Okay, and so how are you going to get there?
The only way anyone's doing anything these days is social media.
So what would be the metric in social media?
Getting more of my information out to a wider audience and creating, well, I want to start with 2,000 views for anything new that goes onto YouTube on Hypnosis TV.
So like if I was playing darts, I need a target to hit. And now that we have the number 2,000 in there, we've got a direction. And the other thing that I'd say about goals is it's got to be 50% believable. So it's got to be in the realm of reality.
So I can't say I need 5 billion views.
Well, you may say you need it.
Or I want it, but
Right.
I can't even begin to visualize it until I get it into the smaller pieces.
We want to break this down so you have a nice trajectory from a next action to a project to an annual goal to overcoming the obstacles to going into your strategic intentions and hence meeting your vision. But the trick is to navigate with purpose. The moral compass keeps you close to your values, and then you start to have intrinsic happiness as well as the outer goals.
Well, that was the next thing I wanted to talk to you about, Mark. I certainly know many people who are wildly successful, but when I look at them, when other people look at them, sometimes even when they look in the mirror, they feel like they were seduced. They have fame, they have money, but along the way somehow they lost themselves. How, when you become more and more successful, how do you stop becoming seduced by the money, the power, the fame?
Yeah, great question. Just think about this, however. How rare is it to meet a person that has a lot of the material wealth the Western world strives for, or people strive for, and the inner happiness? And to me, that's the game I want to play, and I share with others.
You know, so many times you talk to someone, especially where I live, and they talk about the good times when they were struggling, when the husband and wife had just were living in that terrible little apartment with the roaches, and now they're telling me that from the big, beautiful house. And those were the happy times. So you're right. How do we navigate with purpose to get both? We don't long for the roach-infested apartment that we love so dearly.
Well, I look at it this way, and it's a way of looking at things. And I say pain is the teacher. So how do I learn my lessons, and what is the pain teaching me that I'm in, so I can shift it into a positive result that I'm looking for? And then the game is this: once you've had that positive result, is that something you want to maintain? If you wanted the big house and you achieved the big house, is that something you want to continue to look after? Because now you've got maintenance. So be careful what you want to manifest.
How do we keep close to our moral compass? Can we do it? Because a compass, navigate. See? How do we do it? Can we do it with the same kind of a matrix?
In my experience, once you get your moral compass, you've set yourself a big task and a big challenge, because it's going to be tested. The universe will conspire to challenge it and come and test it and see where you're seduced. So you're talking about the movie star life of all the glamour that can go with it. We were discussing this earlier. That's a seduction. Where are you going to be seduced, and where are you going to stick to your moral compass? And this is a game of learning to be authentic. In my experience, when you sit there, you've got the inner joy, and the greater joys will come with it.
So you don't end up being either Enron or Fannie Mae.
It's a good point, and here's the thing about that. You may be operating in integrity or honesty in a corrupt environment. So just be careful what environment you're choosing to be in and how you're operating with what you perceive as integrity or honesty. This is a game of awareness. It's in the game of unraveling. There is no end game. It's just a process of the journey of looking.
Mark Harradine. Everyone's going to want to know more about your business consulting, and everybody's going to want to know more about your book. Can you tell us the name of it?
Sure. So I'm working on a series of books, and the first book is The Conscious Athlete, The Future of Tennis. Second book, Conscious Athlete, Future of Golf. And then we're moving into business.
Excellent. Well, Mark, it appears we're out of time for today, but everyone's going to want to know more about your wonderful way of coaching both in business and athletics. How can people reach you?
Through my website, which is pretty simple with my name. It's www.harradine-consulting.com.
That sounds very, very easy. Please stay tuned, because when we come back from the break, we're going to meet an HMI grad who is also an author, and he's going to share his wonderful new book. Stay tuned. We have a lot more coming up for you on Hypnosis TV. My instructor and host. Today I have an amazing guest. Today I have Mark Harradine. Now Mark is a business consultant and a mental sports coach. I have been trying to get Mark on my show for 1 year, ever since he taught me something about sports psychology, and I was able to discover through his program my power word. When I'm playing on the tennis court, my power word is fearless. So it is my pleasure to have my personal mental sports coach and business consultant.
Working with some people. About 80% of the corporate people that I'm working with are not happy. So I look at how can you navigate with purpose in what you're doing to achieve what these outcomes and agendas are. So having said that, 80% not happy, 10% okay, 5% maybe want to, and the rest is kind of elusive. So it's an interesting place to navigate through.
So if you're in the corporations and you want to, or you're just kind of gliding or sleepwalking through, we should all start our own business, right?
Right, so let's become entrepreneurs. Well, where's the challenge in becoming an entrepreneur? How am I going to pay my bills? What are the resources available? You may have more passion, more purpose without the top-heavy kind of leadership above you, but there's a lot more weight on your shoulders.
How do we navigate with purpose?
Oh, great question. How do we? So I created a model, because models is really a framework of thinking. And the
Welcome to Amazing Mind, the Hypnosis TV talk show that introduces you to all sorts of amazing people and ideas related to subconscious behavior. My name is Lisa Machenberg, hypnotherapist, H. Hamilton on the show, Mark Harradine.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. You came up with a very interesting and very unique way, very accessible, to create success in business. But I wanted to ask you, when people are working for big corporations, what's that like?
Good question, thank you. So this is an independent survey that I call it, which is my opinion after